Welcome back aboard the Spooky Polite Ship, everyone. And welcome to part 1 of the Pumpkin series. This is going to be a 2-part series where I go through the picking and carving of my family's Halloween pumpkins. And of course, part 1 is the picking. And don't worry, we won't be going to the Mad Pumpkin Patch. Okay, that was the cheesiest joke ever, but we were actually going to Duffield's Farms. Ignore how dirty this thing is. This is how the day went. When we got up in the morning, we just kind of chilled with Bart watching the Mickey Shorts. Okay, this joke is getting old now. The Mickey Shorts. Then I had to change this guy because I was leaving my room. Also, I did change them, so they look a little bit better now. Speaking of shorts, I put them on thinking it was going to be warm enough, but then realized my mistake once I got outside. I'm pretty sure we left for Duffield earlier than we did for Moods, if you guys remember that video. Also, if you're wondering why his face is ripped, I really don't know. And around 9:30, we were ready to leave. Then we got in the car and made our way to Duffield's. Before long, we arrived and then got straight to the hayride, because we were on our way to the pumpkin patch. We saw a ton of pumpkins, but none of them really stood out to us that much. So we kept looking until we found 3 perfect pumpkins for each of us. And I really struggled finding mine, but eventually I found the perfect pumpkin. So these are all of our punnins, and you can see each of us have one, and my pumpkin was very wet. That sounded better in my head. We then got back and dropped off our pumpkins in the car. Then we went to Duffield's Pumpkin Land, which is basically like a little outdoor farmer's market area that they have over here, with a ton of different plants and other activities for the kids. And after seeing these little pumpkins, I knew Milo and Belle both needed one of their own. Afterwards, we went to the Scarecrow Museum and saw a bunch of scarecrows made by 5th graders. And then we went to the farm area over here, where we got to see a bunch of different animals. There were goats, chickens, horses, sheep, and even a rabbit. And we got to feed some of them too, which was pretty cool. Alright, well, how could I not do it? And then we saw this goat doing whatever this is to try and get the food. He was so desperate he rammed the fence a good few times. And all the while, these 2 ducks were just kind of standing there watching him. The whole thing was just kind of hilarious. And he kept ramming it in whatever pose this is for a good while. After he'd had enough, we left and headed to the farmer's market to get ourselves a whoopie pie, pumpkin bread, a candied apple, some apple cider donuts, and some apple cider. And they were absolutely amazing. Fun fact, they actually get their apple cider donuts and their apple cider from Moods. And after all that was done, we got back in the car and ran some errands. When we finally did get home, I gave Milo and Belle their pumpkins. Thanks for watching, everyone. Do get seasick and stay tuned for part 2 with the pumpkin carving.